Welcome to The Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise, get you the key insights, the really surprising facts. It's all for you. Today, we are diving deep into the ninth Crunchyroll Anime Awards that just happened. Our mission really is to unpack those results. There's one win in particular, a huge historic win that's really sent ripples through, well, the whole animation world. Yeah, get ready, because one specific title pretty much redefined what winning looks like this year.
It's always interesting with these awards, isn't it? There's not just, shiny trophies for popular shows. They really act as a kind of barometer, showing us shifting trends, what global audiences are leaning towards,
Yeah.
especially with adaptations.
Yeah.
And this year's results, they definitely highlight that evolution, gives us a glimpse of maybe where things are headed.
Okay, let's jump right into that. The biggest story, I mean, there's no contest really, is Solo Leveling. Just unprecedented domination. The show bagged a staggering 9 wins. 9, including the big one, Anime of the Year. I mean, when you just look at that number, 9 awards, it's a complete sweep, right?
It really is a massive sweep. And historically, this is huge. This is actually the first time ever that a manhwa adaptation has won Anime of the Year at the Crunchyroll Awards. Manhwa being the Korean comics, often webtoons designed for scrolling.
Right, right. Vertically scrolling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this isn't just like a victory lap for Solo Leveling fans, though they must be thrilled. It's a huge moment for the entire Korean webtoon industry. It signals a new level of global recognition, could mean more investment, more co-productions down the line.
That's incredible context. So, okay, beyond just the sheer number of wins, what was it about Solo Leveling specifically? What made it resonate so much? Because the hype was definitely there. You saw it everywhere online. But what were the kind of key ingredients to its success?
Well, I think the team really nailed the execution. You had A1 Pictures delivering really fluid, high-impact animation. People were talking about those action sequences nonstop. Then there's the soundtrack, Hiroyuki Sawano. I mean, it was just incredibly impactful, right? Really elevated the tension, the big moments.
Oh, yeah. Classic Sawano sound definitely adds that epic feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the pacing, too. They managed to capture the fast progression of the source material really effectively.
Yeah.
All that quality just clicked. You saw the hype build and build across Reddit, Instagram, all the fan communities.
Yeah, it was impossible to miss. And the specific awards kind of back that up, don't they? It wasn't just one thing, like best art direction, best action, even best opening sequence. It shows it excelled across the board.
Precisely. A really comprehensive win.
Okay, so Solo Leveling was the big story, the 9 award titan. But it wasn't the only story. What else stood out? What other winners maybe surprised you or tell us something interesting about where tastes are heading? Give us that wider view.
Yeah, definitely. Another one that did really well was Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. It picked up 4 wins, which is significant. Best Fantasy, Best Animation.
Best animation. Wow, that's a big one too.
It is. And Frieren is such a unique show. It's kind of ethereal. There's a real slow burn, focusing on what happens after the big adventure, but it just hits you right in the feels, really emotionally resonant.
Mm-hmm. So not your typical action-packed fantasy.
Not at all. And its success, I think, suggests that fans are increasingly appreciating maybe depth in character storytelling, not just the flashy action.
That's a really interesting point. A slow burn winning best animation and best fantasy. It does feel like a shift, maybe?
It could be. It suggests a certain maturity in the audience, maybe, a willingness to engage with quieter, more reflective stories. It shows that, intricate world building and deep emotional stuff can be just as gripping as nonstop fights.
Yeah.
Maybe even more so for some viewers.
Right. And that probably encourages studios to take risks on different kinds of narrative.
Exactly. Trusting the audience is there for it.
And then there was the Film of the Year category. Look Back took that one. That feels like a pretty major win for Studio Mappier and obviously for Tatsuki Fujimoto. His work keeps making waves.
Absolutely. Look Back winning Film of the Year really helps solidify Fujimoto's place. Chainsaw Man was already huge, obviously. But Look Back winning shows that his very distinct, often kind of unconventional style connects beyond just his existing fan base. It shows there's an appetite for these really author-driven, sometimes challenging works, even when adapted.
Okay, so we've got this massive win for Solo Leveling, opening doors for Korean content. We've got recognition for deeper, slower storytelling like Frieren, and for unique authorial voices like Fujimoto's. Let's zoom out a bit. What does this all mean for the industry? When you look at these results, what are the big takeaways, the implications moving forward?
Well, the Solo Leveling win, as we said, it's a definite game changer, no question. It basically gives a green light, a proof of concept for adapting more Korean properties into high-profile anime. It shows investors it can be a huge success. And we're already seeing the pipeline fill up, right? Things like Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Tower of God getting a season 2. These were mentioned as upcoming projects.
Right, so it's not just theoretical, it's already happening.
Exactly. It proves there's a massive global audience hungry for diverse stories, pushing studios beyond, the traditional Japanese manga pool.
Yeah.
It really broadens the horizon for what kind of IP gets adapted into anime.
So bringing it back home, for you listening, how did the actual fans react? We talked about the industry implications, but what was the vibe in the community? Was it mostly cheers for Solo Leveling, or were there some debates, some disagreements?
I'd say it was mostly celebration, especially, from the webtoon readers, people who'd been following Solo Leveling for years and maybe from the very beginning. There was definitely a sense of, like, yes,
Yeah.
our thing made it big. Real vindication.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Now, of course, you always get some debate with awards. There were definitely some anime purists, maybe, who were a little salty.
Funky? Yeah, a little salty.
Yeah, maybe they felt Jujutsu Kaisen or freer and deserved Anime of the Year more. That's normal fan discussion. But overall, it really felt like a win that a huge part of the fandom could get behind and celebrate together. A win for something new on that global stage.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive then. We've seen Solo Leveling's historic win, really a landmark moment for manhwa adaptations. Huge appeal, massive success. We also saw strong showings for diverse storytelling, like the emotional depth of Freyan and the unique vision in Look Back. It really paints a picture of an evolving landscape, doesn't it? An exciting time for animation globally.
Absolutely. And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. What do these awards really signal for the next year, for future award seasons? Thinking about the precedent set here, what kinds of stories might break through next? Maybe from places or formats we aren't even fully considering yet. What's the next big thing in this constantly changing world of animation? Something to chew on.